Well, good evening, ladies. How are we? It is Monday and I am here tonight. I'm going to be talking all about two really important minerals. So not a lot is talked about when it comes to minerals, but we're going to be talking about calcium, magnesium. And I look at these minerals all day long, every day when I'm testing my clients, particularly when I'm using what's called the HTMAs, the hair tissue mineral analysis. Evening, Pam, how are you? So ladies, when you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. It's Lindsay here. If you haven't met me before, I'm an integrative health practitioner. I have a 25-year, I don't know what you want to call it, experience, I suppose, in the health and wellness industry. I was a nurse back in the day. I'm 49. I'm in menopause and I want to be able to help you guys feel amazing like I do most of the time. I have the odd time when I don't feel great, but majority of my time, majority of my days, I feel pretty amazing. So tonight I want to bring to you the importance of minerals. Okay, so it's not really something that people look at, and it's certainly not something that we talk about all day long. I am sure if I said to you all now, go to your cupboards and take a photo of all of your supplements that you have either ever bought or that you're currently taking, I might have heart failure on the spot, alrighty? So what tends to happen when we go through life, we Google things, we go, oh yeah, I've got leg cramps, or oh yeah, maybe not feeling 100%. I'll go and buy, I'll look it up first on Dr. Google, and then I'll go and buy something from the chemist. And the chemist has, oh my God, a plethora of things these days, especially Chemist Warehouse. If you walk in there, that place, I just get overwhelmed in there. I'm just like, I've got to go. But you walk in there and there's shelves and shelves and shelves of supplements, right? And those supplements are not all created equal. And definitely not when we're buying them from those types of places. And a lot of the time when we're putting those things in our systems, our body doesn't always recognize them because they're not actually what our body needs. And a lot of them are just made with fillers and all sorts of rubbish, right? You'd be blown away if you saw what was in them. So two of our really important minerals, calcium and magnesium, we're going to talk about this evening. Alrighty, so good evening, Melissa. Good evening, Kath. How are we? I was a little bit close to my screen that I couldn't see. Charlene, how are we? Ladies, it's lovely to have you here. And if you haven't met me before, then welcome to the group. It's so good to be here. I go live every Monday with some form of information for you to help you on your either perimenopausal or menopausal journey. Alrighty, so it's awesome to have you here. Hey Sarah, how are you? Alrighty, so the importance of minerals. And they are essential, right? And they're essential because we have to get them from our diet. Our body doesn't make them. So these essential minerals, particularly calcium, magnesium, they're used for growth, they're used for healing, they're used for vitality, for well-being. They support structure of our bones. They support our teeth, or they help our teeth. Be amazing, right? They maintain the body's pH and water balance. They help with muscle contractions. They help with energy production. They help with enzyme reactions, right? So I like to call them the spark plugs. And when our spark plugs of life, we either haven't got enough of them or they're not in the right ratios in our system, or we've got too many toxicities in our body, then our health gets aggravated by that. Alrighty, so this is like taking you back to chemistry, ladies. Alrighty, so if any of you have done chemistry or you have an interest in chemistry, it's like the biochemistry of our body. Like, what is going on? What makes our heart function? What makes our liver function? What makes our endocrine system, so our thyroid and our adrenals, function? Like, what do you actually need for those things to function? You need minerals, right? Certain minerals in our body, and a lot of them need cofactors, so they need each other. It's not just calcium, magnesium. There's lots and lots of other minerals needed for the function of our body. But tonight I'm just talking about these two because what I'm going to do is every few weeks, I'm pretty much going to go through the 17 minerals, alrighty, and I'm going to be talking about each of them and the importance of them in our diet, in relationship to perimenopause and menopause, alrighty. And one of the tests that I run when I run my functional lab test is the hair tissue mineral analysis. So guys, if you want more information on that, you want me to send you a PDF on the HTMA, then comment HTMA in the comments and we'll send you that PDF so you can have a read about it, because not a lot of people know about it, and it's a really, really great analysis for us to start with, especially when you're wondering what the hell is going on in your body when you're going through perimenopause and menopause. Alrighty. So yeah, they're the spark plugs of life. And as I say, our health does get or can get aggravated, causing conditions such as cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, migraines, hormonal imbalance, learning difficulties. There's so many, right? So there are 17 essential minerals, 7 micro minerals, and 10 trace minerals. Okay, these cannot be produced by the body, hence why they're essential. We get them from our diet. Alrighty, they reckon that 1 in 3 people, and this is like a US stat, have at least 10 minerals that they're deficient in. Hence why we're mostly seeing more and more of these chronic diseases, right? Because people just are eating so much crap, and I'm going to go into that now. So why are we so deficient? We are so deficient because we are over consuming high refined foods or highly refined foods. All right. And so much of these foods, or so many of these foods, are actually stripped of the nutrients because they go through so much processing. Okay. You eventually don't end up with actually anything in them apart from sugar and just rubbish. Right. So it's a classic case of what I see anyway, is that you're overfed and we're undernourished. All right, so we're getting shitloads of calories, but we're not actually getting any nutrients in those calories. And you know, this is a massive issue. I'd say definitely in the States. I think we're having it. Well, we've got an issue here as well in Australia for sure. I saw it when I went back to the UK. Like the amount of stuff that people eat is just rubbish, right? Absolute rubbish, and less veggies. And they're just eating stuff out of the freezers. So, you know, we've really got to go back to looking at how we get these minerals into our system. And so those foods, they not only lack the minerals, but they require the minerals to actually liberate the calories. Alrighty, so they actually damage the body. They start to cause inflammation, which obviously increases the mineral demand. As the more minerals, what happens then is the minerals actually get shunted towards antioxidant enzymes, to help increase, or well, basically to handle the increased oxidative stress. Okay, so when we're eating really poor food and we've got that inflammation, the body then has to try and get rid of it somehow. Alrighty, and that takes minerals to do that. And also, many of these processed foods are also high in insulin levels as well, or actually they actually induce high insulin levels, which causes us to lose calcium and magnesium. Okay, so we actually end up peeing it out, and it then actually then reduces the entry of magnesium and potassium into the cell. Alrighty, so then that's going to affect how you feel. It's going to affect your energy levels. So that's the first part. Okay, so it's the first part there is the overconsumption of highly refined foods. The second part is the soil erosion, the fertilizers, the pesticides, the herbicides, the insecticides. It just goes on, right? There's so much of that is being used on our food. So your food gets sprayed. Obviously, plants get their nutrients from the soil. So all of those pesticides and stuff's going into the soil. So our plants are still growing, but they're full of fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, insecticides. That's what we're eating, right? Awesome. And then the animals, so your cows, sheep, all of the fish, whatever, they're actually, well, maybe not the fish, but they are then eating the plants, and then we obviously eat the animals and the plants. So can you see how we're then picking up all of this in our diet? Alrighty, so we're basically consuming less nutrients, and we're consuming more toxicities into our systems. they reckon the amount of magnesium in veggies has decreased by about 24%. And the total, the food we now eat is about 30% less nutritious than the same food from 70 years ago. Like 30% less. It's huge. So it's like, do we have to eat like twice the amount to get the same nutrition? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, ladies? So the problem lies in not getting enough calories and macronutrients, but we're missing out on the key micronutrients, okay, especially the minerals. All right, we're just not getting them. We're not getting enough. And then the third thing is the heavy metals competing with the absorption of our minerals. Alrighty, so I'm talking about aluminium, lead, cadmium, arsenic, mercury. Have you heard of those? They actually accumulate in our food supply. Alrighty, so we're getting them, we're picking them up from the industrial pollution, we're picking them up from those herbicides, insecticides, all of those types of things. And that actually then, the heavy metals actually then compete for absorption, thus depleting us and reducing the functions of the minerals in the body. So you can see it's, it's having a massive effect on not only, the food we're having, but it's having an effect on all of our bodily systems when we're eating this food. The other thing as well with these heavy metals, our skincare, shampoos, medications, deodorants, they are laden with these heavy metals. So if you go and look at if you've got a spray deodorant, go and have a look at it. It will have aluminium in it. It will have zirconium in it. You won't find cadmium and arsenic in it. The arsenic, the cadmium and lead are generally found in the soils from all of the pesticides and herbicides. Mercury, that's found if you're having fillings and things like that. That's generally found in all of our dental stuff that we have. So if your mouth's full of amalgams, I would be definitely having a look at that. But we're going to have a look further into these two minerals, okay? Ladies, are you following me? Give me a thumbs up if you are, and if you're finding this interesting. It might just be a little bit too much. It might go over your head, but that's okay. Listen back to it when you can, because it's really important to get these minerals, well, one, get them into our bodies, but also to understand, like, whether you need more of them or not. And particularly when I'm testing my clients, calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, those 4 electrolytes, they are so key to what is going on with our hormonal imbalance when we're going through perimenopause and menopause. And it's really important for you to understand where you're at, alrighty? And, you can't just go out and buy calcium, magnesium. Well, you can just go out and buy calcium, magnesium. But one, there's different types. And they do different things in the body. Some are better absorbed than the others. And also, if you don't know that you need it, and you're getting enough from your diet, which you might be if you're eating the right things, then you can then have excess of it, which is also not a good thing. Alrighty, so I'm just going to give you some facts here, and I've got them on my screen. So if I am looking slightly sideways, just follow along. My apologies. I'll try and put them here. So magnesium is the 4th most abundant positively charged ion, okay, in the human body. Its key element is in cellular metabolism, and it's involved in more than 600 biochemical reactions in the human body. Like, that's just huge in itself, right? It also plays a key role in homeostasis, so keeping our body, running smoothly. Brain function, mood stability, nervous system function, which are all huge, right? And that brain function, we do tend to find, when we up people's magnesium or give them what they actually need, they're not feeling that same brain fog when, they come in going, oh, I can't remember what I was saying, which I still do that sometimes, but hey. Magnesium also helps calm our nervous system down, improves mental concentration in many people who suffer from anxiety. Certain medications can interfere with magnesium retention as well, particularly diuretics, and laxatives as well. So yeah, just be careful what you take in there, ladies. Magnesium is also required for activating B6, so vitamin B6, which helps the conversion of serotonin to melatonin, so great for sleep. Magnesium has a central role in protecting against cardiovascular disease and regulating heart function. 80% of your serotonin in your body is made in the gut. And that process requires magnesium, zinc, and iron. Daily consumption of magnesium-rich mineral water can help improve bowel movement frequency and stool consistency. So actual mineral waters. So if you go and look on the shelves in the supermarket, some of them are really dodgy and they'll have mineral water, and you actually look on it, it just says carbonated water, so it's just fizzy water. But then things like your San Pellegrino, Santa Vittoria, if you look on the back of those, they have their minerals in there, and they have sodium, potassium, magnesium. So if you drink some of those each day, or a couple of glasses of those each day, then if you're struggling with, stool, not going to be able to go to the toilet, then that might actually help. And we actually will be able to, go for a proper bowel movement maybe, which will be great, right? Because otherwise that's just toxicity sitting in your gut. Oral magnesium may reduce the frequency of migraines. Calcium, so we're on to calcium now. So we're just going to run through some calcium tips as well. So calcium helps tryptophan be converted to 5-HTP. So this enables melatonin production, which can help with regaining normal REM sleep, which we have less of as we go through perimenopause and menopause. Low calcium is related to an increased metabolic rate and irritability. Alrighty, so if you're irritable ladies, maybe we need to check your calcium levels. Allergies are frequently found in individuals with low tissue calcium, and calcium influences cell division and helps control normal blood clotting mechanisms. Calcium also controls endocrine secretions, causing them to release hormones. Alrighty, so we're talking about our, thyroid and our adrenals there, and well, all of them, but those two particularly. For example, the pancreas can only release insulin when adequate amounts of calcium are available. So if they're not available, then, we're in trouble. We've got estrogen decreases calcium excretion as well, and thyroid and adrenal glands also affect calcium status. So if they become overactive, they will cause the body to lose calcium, and overproduction of these hormones can block the effect of vitamin D and in turn cause poor calcium absorption from the intestines. So you can see how important these two, and this is just the first two, right? This is just calcium, magnesium, how important these minerals are in regulating our bodies, and especially when it comes to perimenopause and menopause. And, we go for a blood test and we're just not given the information that we need. And our bloods don't show all this because all this is sitting in the tissue, alrighty? This is not in the blood. We're talking about tissue here, and it's very different. So many prescription medications interfere with calcium absorption. Cortisone, for example, that's used for pain control and inflammation. It can contribute to severe calcium loss with prolonged use. Like, we know that, but some people don't know that. And then you've got foods that contain oxalic acid. Alrighty, things like spinach are big ones. And I know people put shitloads of spinach in their smoothies and they're like really happy that they're doing the right thing. But sometimes it's not the right thing for you, especially if your calcium is low. So what happens is it affects the calcium absorption. So you've got spinach, grains, and rhubarb. Grains and rhubarb are just a couple of those foods that contain the oxalic acid, and phytic acid as well. So it actually stops the absorption of calcium. So eating too much spinach can actually have a massive effect on, especially when we're trying to absorb calcium when we're going through perimenopause. We need it, right, for our bone health. It's so, so important. So foods where you find magnesium, mainly nuts, almonds, bananas, black beans, spinach, so green leafy vegetables, whole grains, and mineral water. Calcium is found in spinach as well, nuts, dairy, and mineral waters. Alrighty, so ladies, how does this have an effect on our hormones? Has anyone got any questions at the moment? Or are you just following along? I know I can't see any questions there. I knew this one would be a full-on one, so I just want to just make sure that you're following. And ladies, if you're jumping on and watching this later, hashtag replay as well. So how does this affect our hormones? So we've got the thyroid, which is situated here, right? Parathyroid as well, and then the adrenal glands, which sit above your kidneys. And they significantly influence magnesium in the body. So increased thyroid activity speeds up our metabolic rate, and the body needs increased levels of magnesium then to keep up, alrighty? So it's therefore common to find lowered magnesium levels in clients suffering from hyperthyroidism, so HYPER. And then the opposite is true of those with underactive thyroid, which is hypothyroid. And the balance between calcium and magnesium controls the release of many of your hormones, alrighty? So when people come to me and they say, can you test what my hormones are doing? It's an absolute waste of a test, really, because one, we know things are changing, and two, if you're still getting a period, you know, it's really hard to get a really good idea of what's going on until things have completely, you know, taken a dive. And by then, you know, because your periods are out and you're just like, well, what the heck? I don't really need to know that. It's better to have a look at what's going on with your biochemistry to really try and rebalance your body. Okay, so by looking at just the first four on the HTMA, on the hair tissue mineral analysis, so calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, I can tell a huge amount of what's going on in your body and help you move forward with feeling vital, energized, and alive again. Alrighty. So it's really, really important that you have an understanding of what your symptoms are, how you're feeling, and how we can help you to move forward with that without medication, okay? Really naturally, just putting, the right foods back in your body. Like I said before, spinach is full of oxalates, or oxalic acid, which has a massive effect on the absorption of calcium. So if you're low in calcium and you're eating a shit ton of spinach, then it's not doing you any good in that respect. It's mostly taking some nutrients from it. But then, for us to then really take a deep dive into what you really need is so important. So let's have a look at what else I can tell you here about calcium magnesium. So the role of magnesium is really important in biological processes. As I said to you there, one of the main things I use there to look at what your magnesium and calcium levels are doing is we run the hair tissue mineral analysis. So we're taking a sample of your hair and putting it through a spectrometer, which my samples go over to the US and get tested. And then, we're actually looking at the mineral composition of your hair. So it's looking at what's going on in the tissue inside your body and giving us an analysis so that we can help you to rebalance your body so you can feel really well and energized. Alrighty. And we're also looking at any toxic elements there that might be affecting, the minerals as well, because they actually have a huge effect if there's heavy metals there on our mineral absorption as well. So obviously we know calcium is really closely related to obviously bone health, teeth, and obviously bones serve as a reservoir for calcium. But if we don't have adequate calcium in the system, then what happens is the body will go and find it, and it will go and get it and pull it from the bone. Hence why at this point in our lives, when we've got that decrease in estrogen and progesterone, and we're moving forward with these decreased hormones, it's really important to make sure that your bone health is structurally really good. Alrighty, so you're exercising, you're eating the right foods, and that we're able to absorb calcium. Alrighty. Calcium is also essential for triggering heart muscle contractions. It also acts as a messenger. It influences cell division and helps control normal blood clotting. It also looks after our acid-alkaline balance and also nerve conduction. Alrighty. It controls endocrine secretions, so the hormones being released from the thyroid and the adrenals. What else? With these two beautiful minerals that are so, so important. Has anyone got like any questions at all at the moment? Put them in the chat. I'd love to know. You know, are you currently taking, let me ask you this, are you currently taking any supplements? Yes or no? If you are, I'd love to know what you're taking. And, you know, the problem with supplementation, what I do is nutrient therapy. The problem with supplementation is, as I said before, we can just get access to so much stuff these days. And we Google cramping, Google not sleeping, and it says, take some magnesium or take some calcium. Or you'll get like a calcium with a vitamin D together, because obviously we need vitamin D and calcium together. But what happens is we end up taking it, we take it for too long, and then we put our body out of balance, alrighty? So these things are really only meant to be taken for a short period of time. We're not meant to be taking them consistently 24/7, 365 days of the year. And I find people come and they've got their bag full of tricks that they've been on for maybe 7 years. And I'm like, awesome, we're gonna have fun with that one. So yeah, it's really, really, really important to, at this point in your life, to understand what your body actually needs. And, you know, let's take away the guesswork by testing and looking at what's going on in your body biochemically, so that we can help you, as I said before, you know, feel energized and feel amazing again. And so many of, you know, our minerals work together in our system. They don't work on their own. Some of them antagonize each other occasionally, but most of them work together, what we call synergistically. So we need all of them to be in our system and to be balanced in our system as well. But when we've got one really high and one really low, or we've got calcium, magnesium really elevated in our system and sodium, potassium really low in our system, then we've got an imbalance there. It's like a set of scales. So it's a really fine sort of, you know, tilt of like how much is too much, or, you know, how much is not enough. So it's really, really important. So pharmaceutical medications as well have a big impact on our minerals, especially when it comes to absorption. So antacids and cortisone, as I mentioned before, can adversely affect calcium absorption as well. So it's just actually understanding, you know, what you need and how much of it you need. And sometimes you don't actually need the calcium, potassium, or the calcium and magnesium. You need the cofactors to help them, you know, absorb or be absorbed into the system. So you can see the importance of minerals. It can't be basically understated. They're necessary for virtually every bodily function, starting with energy production and ending with hormonal balance. So, you know, for those of you that are interested in this, or you might want some more information on it, then pop chat in the comments and let's jump on a call and have a chat about where you're at, what's going on for you, how I can potentially help you. And look, guys, if I'm not the right person for you, I've got a beautiful network of peers who I can refer to, who might be able to help you, or who definitely will be able to help you. But yeah, definitely with the, you know, the calcium and magnesium, it's really, really important to understand your minerals and your mineral balance and what is going on in your system. And it's not, you know, it's not okay to just go out and buy magnesium and calcium when you don't really know what's going on in your body. So that's when, as I say, the testing comes in, and we look at, you know, delving into your biochemistry as to what's going on in your body, so that you can have a better outcome and yeah, move forward with perimenopause and not feel all of these, you know, the anxiety and the brain fog and all of the things that, you know, women come to me with. And then so much of that is related then back to, you know, how your body is then functioning. Your metabolic rate is obviously is affected by that as well if your mineral profile is out. So ladies, I hope you found that interesting tonight. And it is a lot of information, and it is a lot of sort of, you know, the chemistry of the body. But that's what happens, right? That's what's going on in our bodies. And, you know, people ask, you want to know why and the root cause? That's the root cause, right? That's what's going on, and we need to fix it. And if you don't fix it, and they go lower and lower or higher and higher in terms of these nutrients, then, you know, you're always going to have that imbalance with something going on. And then it leads to, you know, disease, which we don't want. So hope you found that interesting is what I was trying to say. See, I get brain fog as well. And, you know, comment anything that I can help you with. And if you'd like to have any lives on any particular topics, then drop it in the comments and we'll be able to maybe come up with one for you. So ladies, thanks for joining me this evening. And I hope to connect with some of you throughout the week. And I will see you all same time next week. Have a great week.